Alright, so in the last video we created the prefabs that we'll be using with our world. We made sure that they were named correctly, and we made sure that they were in a deactivated state. If you haven't already, you can also go ahead and delete your prefabs from your scene. You can add those again later very easily, so don't worry about deleting them. It's fine. The next step in setting up the dynamic loading kit is to create the world grid asset. Now the world grid asset is a sort of blueprint for the world. It contains key pieces of information that's needed to build the world at runtime. You can think of the world grid as a finite set of cells. For two-dimensional worlds, you've got two-dimensional cells, which are rectangular in shape. They have a width, which is measured along the x-axis, and a length, which is measured either along the z or the y-axis. Three-dimensional worlds have three-dimensional cells. They also have a width, which is measured along the x-axis, a length, which is always measured along the z-axis, and they also have a height, which is measured along the y-axis. Each cell on the world grid also contains information about whether it's empty or not. If a cell is empty, that simply means it does not have an object associated with it. If a cell is not empty, it means it does have an object associated with it. Now, the dimensions of each of these cells will usually match the dimensions of the object associated with that cell, but that does not necessarily need to be true. As you can see here, you might have an object which is circular and which is smaller than your cell, and that's perfectly valid. You might also have an object which is rectangular, maybe it's a unity terrain, and it can also be smaller than your cell. Either case is valid. That'll conclude this video. In the next video, we'll cover creating the world grid and configuring it.